Oh.
Y'all call it young
Right, you might be.
So, Miss Mallory, we just want to say thank you so much for the work that you do and for being an inspiration to all of us. Unfortunately, we haven't read the book yet. We're gonna go book club together.
I would love to be a part of it.
Yes.
And I think a good thing for you guys to do would be to get the audio version and the book so you can listen and read at the same time.
Okay, thank you so much. So far we read the prologue, and from that I had each of them put together some questions.
Okay.
So we're gonna start with Sienna.
Hello, my name is Sienna.
Hi, Sienna.
It's very nice
Hi,
to meet
Sienna.
you.
It's nice to meet you too.
And my first question for you today is just how are you doing?
Is someone on the mic? Speak up.
Hello, my name is Sienna Saunders. Can you all hear me?
CC.
Yes.
Will you go to how old you are?
I'm 15 years old. I just finished 9th grade. My last day was on Monday. And I go to LaGuardia High School for Music and Arts and Performing Arts.
CC.
My first question for you today, before I get into the book, is just how are you doing? You know, are you okay?
I'm good. I'm doing good. Now that I'm with y'all, I'm doing well.
And my first question is just, how do you want your readers to view the book? Like, is it supposed to be an informational book? Is it supposed to be encouragement to take charge during a state of emergency? Like, yeah.
I think it's a mixture of all of those things. I wrote the book very intentionally. In fact, there was another woman who helped me with the book. Her name is Ashley Antoinette. She's an amazing writer, and she helped me get focused, get my thoughts together. You know, when you're writing, I don't know about you all, but when you're writing, and I know, Stacey, you know what I'm talking about, and you get stuck. Like, I just don't know the next thought. I don't know what I'm right. Writer's block, all those things. Because she's such an incredible writer, she's able to pull it out. Like, no, don't, you know, she helped me throughout the process, and she helped me to write different sections. And then I had another young man by the name of Philip McHarris, whose job was to do research. Because you know, black folks, we tell each other stories from when we're little that don't really be true. Y'all know how we do that. We be like, yeah, because you know Jesus was down there and you know he was talking to the so-and-so. That didn't happen. That just was a story they told you to make you do right when you were a kid. But it ain't necessarily rooted in historic fact, right? So so I wanted to make sure, because you know folks that read this book from the beginning to the end, line by line, word by word, looking for the thing that they could come back. After the first week of sales, I was like, the book must be solid. Because if it wasn't solid, well, I read it 5 times before we published it. So I was pretty sure it was solid. But nonetheless, you never know. You miss things. And Stephen Green read it and only called me about one little issue. So I figured, okay, we good. Because I know they would have tore me up online if the book had things in it that, you know, wasn't right. And the thing about the process was, even in areas where I felt like the material would have been over someone's head, right? Like, I wanted to make sure that when reading it, you were able to grasp the information no matter who you were. You could be Ray who has a job as a janitor. You could be a lawyer, and by the way, sometimes the janitor is smarter than the lawyer, but we won't, you know, get into that. But you could be in all the perceived places of intellect and or not so much, and still get the book. So there were moments where words would make me be like, now I know what this word means, but is someone else going to know? So we would change the words to really make sure that the material, damn. That's a That's a whole computer. Is it all right?
Yeah, go ahead, Tamika.
All right.
They good.
You know, and so I made sure that the material was relatable. So it definitely is meant to be an educational tool, but it also is designed to bring together folks who are either unlikely and or people who are not considered to be, general movement folks. So the reason why the forward of the book is the conversation between Cardi B and Dr. Angela Davis is because I wanted to set the tone from the beginning that this book is for everybody. That I wanted to make sure that it wasn't seen as super intellectual and so highfalutin, hey Kev, and so highfalutin that, Johnny whoever felt like, well, that's not for me. And so that's why some people say, oh, well, you put Cardi in it just because you were trying to get sales. My book was going to sell regardless. And I know that. I asked Cardi to be a part of the book because I thought it would give space and an entry point for people from all walks of life to feel like this is something I need to read for me and my own next level in development within the movement.
So thank you so much. And I truly appreciate, and I'm sure everyone here appreciates that you made your book accessible for all. But I am going to pass the mic to my next peer so they can ask you. Thank you so much.
That girl good.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Good.
And I appreciate the fact that your book is meant to be accessible, but I'm going to pass the mic.
Hi everybody, good afternoon. My name is Mayella Gauss. I am 17-year-old. I go to Quintet School of Teaching. My major, I would love to be a lawyer. But my question for you, I have seen you before this whole thing. I have watched you and understand what you do. And as a woman, as a young lady, growing up, you wouldn't want to be touched anyway or being abused. So when you did the movement with Trump and having to touch people, that was just so disgusting and wrong.
Wow.
But my question for you is, how old were you when you seen that the world needed change?
Ooh, gosh. I think it happens at different points, and you don't necessarily know what you're looking at. Because when I was really little, I knew that stepping over crack vials in the building wasn't right. I knew that from a very young age, that what I saw going on around me in the housing projects that I lived in was not, there was something wrong with that. And the thing that I think young kids kind of understand, and you can tell me if you don't agree, is like for me, my parents, and I talk about this also in the book, my mom, she worked for the city. So, and which of course, her supervisor and others, they were white folks and they lived in different places. And when you go either downtown, when I would go downtown to visit her at work, or when we would go to some of the events for other people on the job, they didn't have the same conditions in their neighborhoods as we did in the neighborhood that I lived in. So you could go downtown to visit mommy at work and it's all nice and clean and pretty and fresh. And then go back home and it's like, why is the elevator is pissy? Well, the elevators downtown, they're not pissy. So I knew something was wrong. I didn't know that was called, oppression and fighting for civil rights and social justice. I didn't know that. I just knew I need an intermission? Okay. I didn't know that, but I knew that something was wrong with what I was seeing. And I think as I got older, and of course I benefited from the fact that my parents continued to keep me in the movement and in the work. And as I got older and older, I began to piece together and understand where those things fell sort of in our lives. Like, what does this mean? Oh, sure.
In school, I had this essay where it's about the death penalty. And are you against the death penalty or are you with the death penalty? And me personally, in school, that's when I seen, I was like, we really need to change.
Right.
Because there was a 14-year-old boy who did die from the death penalty, was accused for something that he did not do. Right. So being moved and seeing things that has to be changed, it starts with us. And I feel like that is true. It really does start with us, because if you have a child and you raise your child to be wrong and to not like this person, not like that person, then that's why there's jail cells being opened up all the time for us. So I feel like that's something that we also have to change, and it starts with the youth. And I thank you for doing this program, because without this program, then there will be more children in jail than normally.
Yeah, that's right. I agree.